SUV, and thanks to your donations, we made his dua come true with Imam Hussein Charity. Look how happy he is. A smile like that costs nothing, and for these guys, it's priceless.
Let's make sure no orphan feels left out this Eid. Donate to our campaign and help us bring a smile to their faces.
يعني مواد كهربائية ما عندنا، لا ثلاجة لا مبردة لا غسالة، مواد غذائية والله مقطعين هسه همات لو حباية ما عندنا الله شاهد. مصرف لاكل، مصرف غليل، طبيب هاي الجهال يعني تتمرض بلا طبيب، حتى رعاية ماكو. هو الحج وابونا من توفى همات كل شيء ما عنده، لا راتب لا كل شيء خله ما أبد ما عندنا كل شيء، بس هاي دن الطابقات اللي قاعدين جواهن هم مفلشات هسه شوف. والله أفكر يعني المستقبل الجهالي يعني نريد نستقر، نريد بيت يعني على حسابنا، نريد يعني نرتاح بالدنيا. هاي مصرف هيك صعبة يعني صعبة كلش.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I've been kindly brought to Hajia Saif's house and she's telling me that she has 6 children. The older 3 were at school, but due to lack of finances, she had to take 2 of them out and only 1 goes to school now. The question is, what happened to the father? The father unfortunately died in a car crash and has left 6 wonderful children behind. The tragedy doesn't stop there, we're just losing the father and that no money is coming into the house. It's also that Saif has kidney stones and cannot afford treatment for them. Not only has she got kidney stones, but her son as well has kidney stones, who with his condition is going to school because he's the only one with further education, the one that they have their faith and hope in that will succeed and inshallah turn things around for them. He also has kidney stones. Families like these struggle all the time, and they struggle with things like paying for electricity, paying rent, providing enough food and medicine for their children, and furthermore trying to keep healthy, keep warm and keep motivated in order to turn things around. Here right now the temperature is dropping and it is extremely cold, and I wonder, how do these children sleep at night where the floor is cold air is coming in because the house isn't properly enclosed and has glass missing from windows, cracks in the wall and so forth. Brothers and sisters, families like these need your help and your assistance. Here in Karbala, we've been trying to help these families by providing them with food, with clothes, even sponsorships for them to go to school and so forth. The work hasn't stopped and the work must continue, can only continue with your support and your help. So brothers and sisters, please donate and contribute and help make these families and these orphans and these children, help make their lives a lot better.
Orphans deserve love, care and happiness. Your donation can provide them with all 3. Donate now.
العيني هسه هاي اليسرى ما اشوف بيها، الم بالراس وارتفاخ البطن، يعني لازم عمليه جراحيه. ابني عنده صرع وعنده مشكله شلل بالمثانه، يعني زارعين له حالب هو اصطناعي فما يتبول طبيعي.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're here in Karbala, the house of Rasul. Now, Rasul unfortunately had a small brain hemorrhage where one of the veins in her head burst. Luckily, she managed to have an operation to fix the issue. However, the error has occurred again. There's still blood leaking. She complains that it's causing her swelling. She can't see out of her left eye, She gets random headaches, and unfortunately, because of the circumstances and because they're in an impoverished situation, her family cannot afford for further treatments. Now, because of Rasul's swelling and so forth, it's very, very dangerous if this situation carries on. With the brain hemorrhage and so forth, we're not sure how severe the circumstances are, and it is going to get a lot worse. More swelling in the body towards the face, towards the arms and legs, which will stop her from performing household duties and looking after her children. Young Ali, mashallah, is only 11 years old and has issues urinating. They didn't have money for a permanent solution, so they have to go to the hospital for him to have his bladder emptied. This obviously costs money, and they cannot afford for him to regularly go to have his bladder emptied. It's impoverished and destitute families like this all over Iraq that require your help. Now, with the help of Imam Hussein Charity, you guys can help provide prescriptions, medical checkups, treatments and medicines for them to live healthier, to live longer, and inshallah see a better future for them and their children.
Your generosity can bring smiles, laughter and happiness to children who have known only suffering and despair.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب إله العالمين أبا القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الصادقين الغر الميامين. My dear brothers and sisters, my respected elders, my dearest youngers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Haj Haidar Al-Qazzaz. Welcome to another amazing opportunity tonight. Once again, we are fundraising for the beautiful charity that is Imam Hussein Charity. We are live on ITV3. Thank you very, very much for joining us. We have an amazing lineup in store for you today. And as always, we are here to help fundraise for those who are less fortunate, including the orphans, including the widows. And so, of course, we've been doing this now. We're coming up to 3 days before Eid. I can't believe that Shahr Ramadan has nearly come to a conclusion. Tonight, we have a regular face who you've probably seen before. You can welcome next to me our dear Sayyid Muhsin Shah. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyid. How are you? Are you well?
I'm very, very well. It's good to see your face on the
Yeah, it's an honor to be here, and I feel very out of place being the host, or the main host today, with you here.
Why?
And also with our dear Dr. Minhal Al-Khawaji. Assalamu alaikum, Doctor.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. No, Doctor, yeah. No, don't. We're going to have marriage proposals coming in. Relax.
Okay,
Inshallah.
don't worry.
But he's good at this, you know.
They'll be well deserved, my dear brother. So, as always, we have been here, and mashallah, the guys have done an amazing job alongside Mullah Ali Fadil for the last fortnight, probably a little bit more. So, how's Shahr Ramadan been for you? You know, this is a new thing, I guess. As soon as you break your fast, you're on here and you're part of an amazing cause.
Yeah, brothers. I mean, how long do we have to eat? Like, we had 15 minutes to eat. We had to, like, what do you call it? Bury the hatchet and take it down quickly.
It's been worse. I mean, huge shout out to Amir Reza for one of the days said he was going to bring the iftar. I think iftar was about 7:59. Because, you know, we love to go by the minute when it comes to iftar time. And he brought the iftar 10 minutes before the show. So we had to kind of rush for that.
It literally is an amazing thing that you're doing, actually. Because before the show, I was speaking to one of our brothers and we were looking at the sermon of the Prophet before the month of Shahr Ramadan. Where the Prophet says, Tahannanu ala aitam an-nas, look after the orphans of other people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make sure that He looks after your orphans. Make sure that you help feed the needy, look after the poor, because then that will come tenfold to you as well. So look, it's an amazing opportunity. As you know, brothers and sisters, if it's the first time you're tuning in, IHC does some amazing work in some major countries. Brother Muhsin, I'm sure you'll see later, there are loads of videos that mashallah you're in all of them, so you've done an amazing role. What are the kind of major countries, major projects that we have going on?
Mainly we deal with Karbala, because as you know, Imam Hussein Thank you, Minhal.
I have to take care of Sayyid Mohsen.
Thank
He's
you
always
very
sweating,
much.
Sorry.
It's the lights. But as you know, Imam Hussein Charity is the charity side of Imam Hussein TV. We're based in Karbala. So our main projects take place in Karbala because we have so much on our doorstep that really, really need help and so forth. Furthermore, we help in Afghanistan. And people think, why do you help in Afghanistan? The Afghanis reached out to us.
Wow.
They reached out to us to say
Wow,
that, listen, we're especially during the winter campaign, if you guys have seen, we give coal for them to burn and so forth. They reached out to us. They were asking for a loan. They were saying, if you can donate. If not, give us a loan. We'll pay you back when we can.
Such an amazing.
And then we thought, okay, you know what? We'll start a campaign for you guys. And also Pakistan.
I'm sure this ayah has already come up from Surah Al-Baqarah that says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Man dha alladhi yaqra Allahu qardan hasanan fayada'afuhu lah. Something kathiran. Do you know the rest of the ayah?
No, don't ask.
Sayyid Ali, what's the rest of the ayah?
The translation in English. In English, I know it. In English, I know it. Which says, who is willing to give a loan to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
Okay.
Which is a beautiful thing, by the way, because if you just imagine someone that you know really well, someone that you trust, someone that will never let you down, and they said to you, Muhsin, Dr. Minhal, Sayyid Muhsin, Dr. Minhal, give me a loan and I'll look after you. I'll give you loads back in return. And this is the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa'ad Allahu haqq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, you know, qiyamah is qiyamah. Allah says that my word is my word. He says, Inna ma yuridallahu liyanfa ankum rizqa ahlil bayt. That's the truth, right? That's the truth. So if Allah says, give me a loan and I'll return to you, brothers and sisters, if you are here, we're going to talk about the packages in a second. But that is such a, when you really contemplate and deep that verse, that's a beautiful, beautiful opportunity. Indeed. So we are how many days away from Eid? Some two,
depends which one you
some
follow,
three.
We say Friday, Saturday.
It depends. Friday, Saturday.
Inshallah.
Most likely there'll be some on Sunday as well, no doubt. But we know that in situations, Eid, alhamdulillah, I have children. I'm sure many of the brothers and sisters do here as well. We're in a situation now where kids come up to you and say, look, it's Eid. Baba, what are you going to get me? Mama, what are you going to get me?
No, it's not what you're going to get me is
How
you
much?
have to get me.
I want this.
Yeah,
exactly. You have to get me.
In my household is how much you're going to give me.
There you go. So there's the Eid campaign, which is something we really want to focus on today. So tell us a bit more about the Eid campaign.
So the Du'as Come True campaign is...
what a beautiful name.
Exactly. And what we do is we're going to take an orphan, right? We're going to first buy them new clothes to wear for Eid. We're going to take them to a theme park, so they'll have a day out. Then we bring them back for a restaurant for them to eat. You know, probably pizza or burgers and chips, something nice, a nice meal.
Beautiful.
Right, and after that, to remember the day, we give them a gift.
Alhamdulillah.
So we're taking them out, we're giving them new clothes, we're taking them out, we're feeding them, and we're going to give them a gift. And it's for how much, Minhal?
£25, not £35.
That's all it is.
£25.
Genuinely, that's all it is.
£25.
Have they corrected the CG for the viewers?
So brothers and sisters, on your screen right now, you can see a QR code. I'm right in saying, brothers, you can just scan that QR code straight away. The brothers are pointing to it. It's over there.
Yes, they changed the CG.
£25 Eid gifts. You can drop us a WhatsApp at 07940 503 046. And just to show you how beautiful this segment is, the
Du'as Come True campaign.
Du'as Come True campaign. We're going to roll a very short video, inshallah, just to explain what that is.
Son had wanted an SUV, and thanks to your donations, we made his dua come true with Imam Hussein Charity. Look how happy he is. A smile like that costs nothing, and for these guys, it's priceless.
Let's make sure no orphan feels left out this Eid. Donate to our campaign and help us bring a smile to their faces.
السلام عليكم. دعاء عايش شراد. عمري 10 سنين. أي لعبة؟ أنا أتمنى بالعيد الجديد لعبة سكوتر.
Her name is Da'a, and you guys made her Da'a come true.
Every child deserves to feel loved and appreciated. Join us in making Eid special for orphans by donating to our campaign.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, my dear brothers and sisters, welcome back. And the end of that video, that every child deserves to feel special. I think for me, why this particular campaign is so valuable is that typically when you donate to orphans, you're always told, it's the basics, it's the necessities, it's, for example, the odd meal or the blankets or the clothes. I think, like every child, Eid is a special time, right? And these children don't have the opportunity to get that feeling. So brothers and sisters, on a very serious note, we always have fun on the stage, and I saw your chili challenge. I saw Ali Father doing kick-ups for football, and I know it's quite light-hearted, and that's the idea. But I'm only here, there's good and bad news. Good news is I'm here today. Bad news is this is the only day that Imam Hussein Charity have invited me. So I'm only here for one day.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So I will speak to admin.
We'll talk to the
Producers, please.
We'll talk to admin later.
So brothers and sisters, if there's someone at home on the edge, if you're on the fence thinking, shall we do this or not? Just take that ayah in mind. And also there's a hadith from Imam Hussein alayhi salam that says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you as much as you give. So it's an open, it's like a blank canvas.
Yeah.
Yeah, brothers and sisters at home. £25 genuinely is not a massive investment of any sort. That's the entry level, and that's to make sure that you can help a child who is all alone, who doesn't have the right support network. Martin, you visited loads of those children. What's the reality in a city like Karbala when it comes to, because we go to Karbala, we see the hustle and bustle, we see the ziyarah, we see...
Yeah, we go as pilgrims or as tourists to Karbala. And I was lucky enough to go to the outskirts. And
this is in Karbala?
This is Karbala, yeah. This is Karbala.
Which you wouldn't expect.
I think this is Al-Qaim, the area is called Al-Qaim. That's the Mukhtar there. He was taking me to visit the orphans and so forth. And these guys, they live in the most basic forms of residency. Look, you can see the roof over there is just a plastic sheet. And they've got bricks and stuff to hold it down so the wind doesn't blow it over. Some of these houses don't have electricity. There's no real male patriarch to look after the family, to go out and earn. A lot of the females, they can't work. If they do, it's just collecting recycle rubbish such as plastics, cardboard, glass, and then they can go to a recycling centre and get some small change for that. And the thing is, and I said it before and I'll say it again on the show, the kids do not get a childhood. That is the most unfortunate thing for these orphans. Orphans should be going out and playing and getting up to mischief and doing their homework. These kids unfortunately don't get that opportunity.
And the thing as well is, as Shias, we have so many examples of how looking after orphans was prioritized to such an extent that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was an orphan.
He was, yes.
Right? That we look at Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam in the last week when we talked about his martyrdom. Imam Ali alayhi salam, the day that he was martyred, the orphans were crying because there was no one to support. So it's actually, it's if you want to call it a sunnah of the Nabi, or being part of a Shia of Imam al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, it's part and parcel of our faith.
It's so important, even in the Quran. If you guys go to Surah Fajr, there's 3 or 4 ayahs where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks you, did you look after the orphans? Did you support the orphans? Did you give them their rights? Did you usurp their rights? And so forth. There's a main emphasis. I come from a place, and I'm sure you guys do as well, where they say it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah, no doubt.
But what if that child has no parents? Where is that village coming to step in? Where are the elders of the community to say, no, we will take care? He's one of
In
our
between
own.
what you're saying, I'd like to play for the brothers and sisters at home a very short clip from this area, which is called Qa'im, you mentioned?
This one isn't, but the one before, was
Yeah, if we can just play that clip very briefly, brothers and sisters, have a look at this, and we'll see you very shortly.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm in Karbala in a place called Al-Amal, which is like the hope. In the far distance you can see the Karbala football stadium, but not far from there is this landfill site. And believe it or not, there's some settlements here as well, where some poor families, unfortunately, this is the only space they could find in order to set up a home. And what they do is, believe it or not, is they go into this landfill site and they pick out items that they can recycle, wood, plastic, and so forth. If you see behind it, there's a tent. On the other side of the tent is where they organize wood, cardboard, plastic, and so forth. And for a lot of these children here, a lot of these orphans, and a lot of these children who come from impoverished families, a lot of these children that come from impoverished families, they have to go into this landfill site and they have to help pull out plastic, wood, and other materials in order to recycle. Now these kids should be focusing on education, these kids should be playing, enjoying their childhood, but they're forced into work because their family are so poor and impoverished. Furthermore, these kids want to play, and if they play, where do they play? They play here. This is their playground. At landfill site, you can see over there, there's water, contaminated water. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a dead body there as well. There's a cat or a dog or something. This is where the children get to play. This is where the children, go to work. And there's broken glass. Look at some of these children. They don't even have shoes. Look. And it's not their fault. At the IHC, we have many projects to help children like this. Whether you're sponsoring an orphan, whether you're helping a child get education, whether you're giving a food basket to feed, but that's still not enough. We're doing what we can here at the IHC, but we can't do it without your help.
Very, very difficult to see. Dire conditions, and brothers and sisters, you have an opportunity to change somebody's life, but also to change your life. So we were saying earlier the ayah from Surah Al-Baqarah, there's also a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam that says you can attract sustenance by giving charity.
Yep.
Indeed.
So genuinely, I think there's so many motivations behind wanting to give charity. It could be because you want to change someone's life. Genuinely, it could be because you want to change your life. If you're sitting at home right now and Shahr Ramadan is coming and is nearly gone, and you're thinking, what have I done as a good deed? Yeah, because we're talking about fasting, and everyone majority fasts, alhamdulillah. I'm sure everyone prays as well, inshallah. But there are other things that you can do to kind of attract that. And Dr. Minhal, you've been to Iraq, you've been to Karbala as well. I mean, tell us a bit about what you've seen, the type of work that the charity does.
Now, before I start, just in case any of my university professors are watching, I'm not claiming the doctor title, he's attributing it to me, because I'm not allowed to claim it.
So I'll explain for the audience, in Iraq, if you're a dentist, you're called a doctor. In London, your letter still says doctor, so I'm going to give you doctor.
Haven't graduated yet. But
I'll give it to you, don't worry.
Haji Haidar, these people face bad situations. Some of them were born into this situation, others, they were forced into this situation. And I want to bring the example of a brother whose death came as such a shock in the Khawaja community. I think it was last year or the year before. The brother, I forgot his name, may Allah bless his soul, he was a lawyer from the Khawaja community, and his death came so unexpectedly, and his children were made orphans. Now, alhamdulillah, he's living here in the UK where he's got family around him, the support system is a bit better. These people, with the bad conditions, with everything, lose a parent, and all of a sudden they find themselves in a place where they have to, without choice, illegally settle somewhere just to be able to live or have a roof over their head. So when we say imagine, we literally mean imagine you were to die, and just look at your kids and say who's going to be there for them. Because chances are, if they're in that situation, not many people, because families abandon them.
There is a foolproof formula that the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, says in his khutbah on the last day of Sha'ban, that says, if you look after people's orphans, when you have orphans, then they'll be looked after.
100%.
Absolutely.
And look, these people, they're in such dire need of our help. And you know what? One billionaire on Twitter was told that if he pays $6 billion, he will treat world hunger. He said, show me the formula, show me exactly your plan, and if it works out, I will pay $6 billion, and they couldn't. So we're just trying to show you exactly how dire the situation is, but we're just trying to do the best that we can.
Well, this is the thing, because brothers and sisters at home right now, you may be thinking, how can I change things? How can I help? There is a very, very clear formula here, that we have boots on the ground. Sayyid's been there, doctor's been there, inshallah one day I'll be able to go as well. And you can see the younger brothers and sisters, the orphans, the widows, those who need help. By the way, we'll come on to this later. We have a special guest who's going to be touching and highlighting the importance of education very shortly. Because it's not just about feeding or going for a Eid, or kind of an outing or presents or something like that. But there is a whole infrastructure that needs to be created. And that change starts with literally as small as £25. There are a couple more packages. I'd like to rattle through them before we go to a video, then we'll invite our guests. So tell us about some of the packages. So we have the £25
Eid package.
Eid. Make a dua come true. What else do we have?
We had the iftar pack, which was £30.
That's still active because there's
It's
still
still
3 days
active.
of Shahr Ramadan.
It's not just that. What it is that we've probably delivered all the packages. We're paying back the warehouses and the wholesalers who have given it to us on a cheaper rate. But
And how much is that for the iftar?
£30.
£30 for the iftar, brothers and sisters. What else do we have?
£50 is to sponsor an orphan. Now the £50 goes towards school tuition fees, buying equipment for schools, clothes, even if it has to help out in the house with utility bills and so forth. It's just to lessen the financial burden to the family so that this child can go and get education.
Yeah, I mean that for the brothers and sisters outside of Shahr Ramadan, that is genuinely probably less than a month's supply of your coffee. Let's make this relevant and related to our lives, right? If you drink coffee or Red Bull or whatever you drink for your caffeine here, or even fizzy drinks, whatever, that's probably a month's supply. So it's absolutely nothing, right? What are the other packages, Sayyid?
I'll let Minhal do the second.
Well, we'll do the second package, but Sayyid Muhsin, just tell us the question of the night for the dear viewers.
Oh, question. Okay. Yes. We always have a question of the night. You guys have been participating.
What was the question yesterday, Sayyid?
Yesterday, the question was, which was the sister company that helps out with Imam Hussein Charity, who are on the ground in Iraq?
And the answer was Misbah al-Hussein.
So the lucky winner, you'll be contacted.
Inshallah.
And the question of tonight, Sayyid, is?
Can a non-Sayyid pay his Zakat al-Fitra to a Sayyid family?
Can a non-Sayyid, it's getting technical now, can a non-Sayyid pay his Zakat al-Fitr to a non-Sayyid family? There are some prizes, by the way.
Yes.
Or to a Sayyid family.
Yeah, so non-Sayyid to Sayyid.
The question's on the screen. Brilliant. There are some prizes. Can we look at them very, very quickly as well before we go to a quick video?
Yes, we can.
God bless you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
You're going to get me kicked out of university, but anyway, brothers and sisters, as you can see, they change colours every single show.
MashaAllah.
But these are exclusive to Imam Hussein Charity. You can't get these anywhere else. So that one is a moon crescent that says, pendant that says, Ya Qamar Bani Hashim. MashaAllah, Sayyid, MashaAllah.
And then we've got another one.
That has extracts from Ziyarat.
You said this, no, this one I'm holding. You recited the ayahs earlier on. Ayat al-Tathir.
Oh wow!
It's written on this, and it's on each side as well.
Beautiful.
I have all those, so I can touch it.
And this one,
more than one hand.
This one has an extract from Ziyarat Ashura on it in gold. You can select any color you want. It's gold, silver, rose gold, and black.
Yes.
So, brothers and sisters, with a chance to win this, go. You have to make a minimum donation of £5. Send your answer to our WhatsApp number, and inshallah you will win one of these presents. But the next package is £100 for medical aid, including dialysis, vaccinations, and
wisdom tooth repair,
teeth extractions.
Right, brothers and sisters, we're going to go very quickly to a short video. We're also going to say thank you to Dr. Minhal, who has a prior commitment. Thank you so much. God bless you as always.
Thank you.
Inshallah, we'll welcome our guest. Our guest for the evening on very, very shortly as well.
اسمي روان وعمري 9 سنين. بابا ميت. مشتاقت له هواي. أنا أتمنى بالعيد سكاته.
Rowan wanted a scooter, so you guys made her dua come true.
The smallest gift can make the biggest difference in a child's life. Let's come together and make an orphan's Shahr Ramadan memorable.
اسمي فاطمة فتاح عمري 8 سنوات. أنا مشتاقة لبابا. أنا أحب يجيبوا لي بالعيد العالم.
Fatima wanted a doll set. Thanks to your donations, you guys made her dua come true.
Let's make sure no orphan feels left out this Shahr Ramadan. Donate to our campaign and help us bring a smile to their faces.
السلام عليكم.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, my dear brothers and sisters. Welcome back. Thank you very much to our dear brother, Dr. to-be, Minhal. And now we have a special guest on the show who has done a lot of work with the poor, in particular in Iraq. A friend of mine, very honored and very happy to welcome him. So if you can welcome to our stage our dear brother, Hassanan Bilal. Welcome to Bilal. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Nice having you.
Ahlan. Hassanan, how are you, my dear brother?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh, it's our honor. It's our absolute honor. Thank you for joining us. So, you've kind of had first-hand, very similar to the Sayyid, first-hand experience seeing and dealing with orphans in Iraq. And there was one, when we were talking earlier just before Thor, there was one particular point that for you was a really big deal.
Yeah, so to give you context, I work in education, I'm a teacher, and I was working on a project in Baghdad. So what we did, we took about 40 kickboxers and Muay Thai fighters from the UK, going to Iraq to kind of raise awareness for the country. And we had an opportunity, alhamdulillah, to visit an orphanage there, a very big orphanage. We went there with the intention of strictly just inviting them over to come attend the event. But we were fortunate enough to have an opportunity to see how they actually operate within the orphanage, to meet some of the kids, and it was really eye-opening. Because when we talk about like donating money and whatnot, we tend to think of it from the perspective of feeding, clothing, and giving like water to these orphans. But when you're there and you see the impact that this has on their lives in terms of providing education, providing them with guidance and support, providing them with a family, you really start to appreciate what this money does. And it's so much more than just feeding and clothing. It's about providing them with a proper future and with providing them with dignity.
Why do you think that's so important, that the focus specifically on education, Hassan?
Because I always look at my students and I look at my own upbringing within the UK, and I just feel like this is all by chance. I happened to be born in London. These students happen to be within proximity of the school, and they're fortunate enough to come to this school, study, to get these opportunities that we get in the West. That very well could have been me had I been born in Iraq.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, and it's just by complete chance. We are fortunate enough to be in a situation where we can get an education in the West, to study, to make some money, whereas any other time, like, we could have just been one of these other kids.
Yeah.
Right? So, given that we've been this fortunate, what are we going to do about this to make the world a lucky place? A better place, sorry. So we talk about, for example, every land is Karbala, every day is Ashura. But in my opinion, unless you actually live by that, you haven't learned anything from it. So, when we see these kids, when we see these orphans, how are we helping them? What are we bringing to the table to make sure that they have the same opportunities, or at least some opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas we had so much given to us.
So, Mohsen, you've also seen the schools and the work that IHC does with educating children, not just giving the necessities of feeding them and clothing them and shelter, but actually as well helping them progress. What type of experience do you have with looking at kind of how important that is for this generation of kind of like neglected children?
Yeah, I'll mention two campaigns that we have that focuses on education and helping you know, the orphans and widows. One is, I explained earlier, £50 to sponsor an orphan to help with them studying and so forth. The other one we have is £500 to teach an orphan or a widow a skill, a trade. So we can teach females how to sew, how to cook. We'll teach
life skills.
Yeah, life skills. We'll teach a young man how to cut hair, to be a barber, or carpentry, or how to ride a bus. What this does is that, you know, for £500, you know, one of the viewers can sponsor this. You'll take an individual, you'll teach him a skill. He'll go out, he'll work for a bit. You know, he'll start earning his own money, and then he'll pass that skill on to another orphan and so forth. Who knows? One day he'll be able to open up his own business and start hiring more orphans and teaching more orphans. And what we create then is an infrastructure of a circle that they can get out of poverty themselves. It's not a constant handout. It's a one-off payment of £500 to help them start something, and it's a snowball effect.
Phenomenal. And actually, brothers and sisters, that's considered to be sadaqah jariyah, right? So once you give that £500, that is not a sunk cost. That's an investment. And by the way, if there are any brothers and sisters who are at home, and I'm sure there are, who have marhumeen, this is a phenomenal opportunity, because once you get into your grave, that's it. The balance stops, The balance stops. What gives you that thawab and what makes you able to continue to weigh the scale of good deeds heavier is that sadaqah jariyah. So do it in the name of your marhumeen as well.
Can I just add something to that?
Of course you can,
when we talk about investing in the future of our countries back home, this is a perfect opportunity to do so, because what this does, it creates jobs, it creates opportunities, it actually builds the economy, and it creates opportunities for other orphans to get involved as they grow older.
Hassan, sorry to interrupt you, but what motivates you to want to do that? I mean, look, we're in the UK, right? Honestly, we're in the UK. We don't really have this issue. that much and it's not that prevalent. So what makes you want to not only just give a little handout, but actually, as you said, create an infrastructure, create a future that's better for these orphans? What's the motivation behind that?
I always ask myself, if we don't do this, who is? Because when you look at certain other groups that face similar problems, there are a lot of people prepared to hand out. As Shia, we're short on numbers, we are the minority, whether we like it or not. We need to make sure that we help people back home because there's no one else that is going to do it.
You know, to add to that point, he's right. Do you remember up in Blackburn, a lady was gunned down, unfortunately. She's in the wrong place at the wrong time. They raised money for her, then they found out she was Shia. And they said, can we have the money back? Do you remember this? About 2 years, you remember this?
I do.
You know? And it's like, you know what? Then the Shia community stood up and said, right, if you're not going to look after, we're going to look after. We'll take care of
Who's going to look after these orphans?
Exactly.
I think that's
we
the question.
have a responsibility, we have a duty upon ourselves.
Yeah.
Minhal said it as well before, that if you have extra in your pocket, that's like their hissa, that's the portion belongs to them.
Yeah.
Allah has given you their portion to give to them so you can get some barakah out of it.
And in honesty, even if it's not extra, and I think this is a really important point, and one of our close friends, a friend of the channel, one of the hard workers here, Sayyid Hassan Nawab, mentioned this to me not long ago, that literally a pound is a raindrop, right? But once all the raindrops start coming down together, that's when you know, well, puddle or a flood, I was thinking more about fair enough. Inshallah, we're going to roll very quickly to a video from the brothers in the AV team, inshallah, just to show you some of the great work that IHC does, and we'll be back very, very shortly.
أنت عندك أيتام؟ لا إله إلا الله.
دبر العيشة ودبر الإيجار.
قاعدة بالإيجار. يعني الكسب اللي أنت تكسبينه من بيع الخضار يكفيكم للعائلة؟
لا ما يكفي.
ما يكفي؟ لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. إخواني يعني امرأة مثل أم حسين وقاعدة في هذا الحر تبيع خضرة حتى تطلع الإيجار وتعيش أيتامها. أعتقد أنها تستحق، مو أعتقد بس بل أجزم أنها من المستحقات اللي إحنا المفروض يعني نساعدها، نوقف وياها. إذا ما نوقف وياهم نوقف ويا المن. فإن شاء الله إحنا معكم وبأياديكم الكريمة بإمكاننا أن نساعدها وكذلك ندربها على أي مهنة هي حابة حتى إن شاء الله في القادم من الأيام تقف على رجلها وتعيش حياة كريمة وسعيدة مع أطفالها إن شاء الله. إحنا عندنا مشروع، بكل صراحة أتكلم أم حسين، إحنا عندنا مشروع تدريب النساء، تدريب الشباب، تدريب الرجال، تدريبهم على بعض المهن، مثلا الخياطة بالنسبة للنساء، خياطة، الطبخ حتى، والرجال عندنا حلاقة، حدادة، نجارة، سياقة سيارات، عندنا هاي الدورات. فإحنا حابين نسوي دورة حتى نطورك وإن شاء الله تكونين مثلا خياطة ماهرة، الناس يجون، النسوان يجون لك للبيت ويخيطون وانت تكسبين من وراء هذا العمل. فشنو في خاطرك؟ شنو في خاطرك تتعلمين؟
والله أنا يا ريت أتعلم بس ما عندي فلوس يعني أقدر أسوي هذا الشيء. أتمنى أنا.
إحنا ما طلبنا منك فلوس، إحنا قلنا الدورة مالتنا دورة مجانية.
والله يا ريت، وأنا تدري يعني صاحبة أيتام وإيجار كله. أيوة، الله يطول أعماركم ويستر عليكم ويحفظكم الحسين. أي والله.
الله يسلمكم، بارك الله فيكم. دعائها أفضل من أي دعاء.
Together we can empower individuals to create a brighter tomorrow. Donate today.
Welcome back, my dear brothers and sisters. In that small intermission, by the way, just had a quick glance on my phone and I had a lot of friends and family say that they're watching live.
MashaAllah.
So for those of you watching live, I want you to take this opportunity. If it's £25 that you're going to do for the make a dua, or make a, what's it called again?
Du'as Come True campaign.
Du'as Come True. I'm going to have to remember that. It's a beautiful name for a campaign, so I will remember that. Du'as Come True campaign is £25. Everyone who's watching I know has kids, and everyone everyone I know who's watching has kids that are going to have beautiful Eids, whether you're staying in London or going out. Spare a moment for the orphans as well. And Brother Hassanan, before or during that intermission, you mentioned to me that actually you were in Iraq very, very recently, so only last week, which I wasn't aware of. So firsthand, you know, you saw the situation that these orphans were in. Tell us a little bit about what you saw.
Yeah, so not only was I in Iraq a couple of months ago, I was in Lebanon, where I saw very similar problems. And again, I go back to like my position as a teacher, where I understand the value of education and what it means to offer these kids a school and a chance to learn. Whereas when I was in Iraq and Lebanon, I'm seeing 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds working, begging in the streets. And unfortunately, we try not to think about these things, but they happen. Yeah. This is the reality of people back home. You know, we talk about like our people back home, our Shia, as Iraqis. Sometimes we look at our home, as we call it. What are we doing about it? How are we helping the people back home? What life is it when I'm walking down the street and I see a 7-year-old girl knocking on my car window, trying to sell me tissues, because there's no one else providing for her? How do we, when we die, face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we see Ahlul Bayt there, and we try to justify how we turned our cheek and we walked away, or we drove away from them when they are there literally, well, too dignified to beg. They're trying to do something, but essentially that's what it is. These are opportunities. This is the age where they should be learning, they should be in school. And instead they're forced to do this sort of thing.
It makes me think about, you know, in the holy month of Muharram, when we consider Sayyidah Ruqayya, Sayyidah Sukaina alayhim salam, and we think like if we were there, we would have done anything to help the orphans of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And this is the land of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and these are the orphans in the proximity of the grave of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So brothers and sisters, what is needed is not plentiful, in all honesty. I mean, we're not talking, we haven't been mentioned, there's packages, for example, in the water well. And if you really want to have a position, in my opinion, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will look at you right now in this moment where the gates of mercy are open in the holy month of Ramadan, something like that is a phenomenal opportunity. What we're talking about now is you know, a £25 contribution to change a child's life or orphan's life on the day of Eid, which is in 2 or 3 days from now. Brother Hassan, just going back to you really, really quickly, why do you think it's important for the community here, and in particular the youth, to be taught and given the right knowledge when it comes to looking at the situation back home and in other countries, that, you know, the state of poverty and the number of orphans is, we read the stat earlier, I think, for example, in Africa we were talking about as well, where 1 in 4
people in sub-Saharan Africa, including Tanzania and Kenya, are hungry. Like, they don't have adequate food. So I was in Zanzibar, which has a lot of Shia, by the way. I was there, and literally in front of me, not once, not twice, many a time, I literally saw people eating from bins. Okay, literally like opening up the bins, trying to find food.
Why do you think it's important to teach those lessons to the community here?
Because we tend to, unfortunately, see them as this other. Like we in our head that this can never happen to us. We are here, we have this foundation where we're so lucky, we're fortunate, but we don't actually think of those people as humans. We see them as numbers. When you open the newspaper, you say, oh, X number of people have died. They're just stats. But unless you go out and see and travel and you see what's happening there, unless you go and read, you don't realize that this is happening every single day to people just like you. People that pray just like you, people that fast just like you, people that speak the same language as you, that have the same Islamic beliefs. And you know what, even forget all that. They're just human beings just like us.
Absolutely.
Okay, as Imam Ali says, they're either your brother in faith or your equal in humanity. So it's important for the youngsters in the UK to actually get involved in charities, to go and see what's happening in the world.
Yeah, I think
get engaged.
I'd like to come on to that, but I think just a very clear point for the brothers and sisters right now is for them to know that you can make a difference, right? You might look at this and say, on the grand scale, what is £25 going to do? What is a £50? You know, the £50, the sponsoring of the orphan, for me is such a beautiful thing to do, because that only guarantees food and safety and shelter. As you said, it also guarantees that they're going to be taken to schools, right? And I visited a school, and they're taught the right skills as well. So, yeah, look, a fundamental part of our religion, no matter which angle you split this down, whether it's based on faith, or based on religiosity, or is it based on humanity, there is an opportunity now to make a difference, and that can be done with something as small as £25. So we talked about really quickly there, when you said we need to involve the youth and they need to start learning the right lessons and they need to kind of get it. How do you recommend that somebody gets involved in something like this?
So one of the ways I first got started in charity work is through the thing I love the most in the world, which is football. Okay, so when I was in sixth form, I did my A-levels, and once you finish year 13, there's a period where you have about 4 months of doing absolutely nothing. So what I did is I just thought, okay, do you know what? I love football. I know a little bit about coaching. I started up my own football club. And this was like in a park, managed to get some equipment together, started coaching little kids within the UK, so helping people here, but at the same time, the money I raised through that, I managed to donate to orphans back in Iraq.
Beautiful.
So just through football, I've started to actually raise awareness for what's happening back home and help people. So my advice for youngsters is just find anything that you have a passion about, any skill that you have, and just get involved.
God bless you.
Just jump straight into it.
Absolutely. And also with IHC here, I'm sure if the brothers and sisters at home, our younger brothers and sisters, are looking at this charity thinking, wow, we love the work that you do, get in contact. We're more than happy to facilitate some conversations. And as we mentioned earlier, we're welcoming people to call in. So I think we have a caller now, if I'm not mistaken, in the AV team. No, we don't. Okay, so I guess the thing that we want, I think that caller just disconnected. But give us a call. Let's have a chat. If this is something you feel passionate about, mashallah. By the way, brothers, the donations have been coming in thick and fast, mashallah. So I think there's a couple of large donations that have come through. So we had a donation of £25 for the. Keep forgetting it.
The Du'as Come True campaign.
The?
Du'as Come True campaign.
That's the one, Du'as Come True campaign. MashaAllah, we just literally live just now, just been told, had a £10 donation.
MashaAllah.
And again, that £10 donation, yeah, that £10 donation, albeit for some people at home are thinking that's small. Again, for 10 of you, that's £100. That sponsors 2 of the orphans at £50 each, right? That's 4 Make a Dua Come True campaign donations. We just had another donation now of $100.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. We've just had another one of $11 as well, a very particular number, but mashallah, that every dollar counts. So for all of those donations and all the ones that are going to be coming through, let's hear aloud from the back, from the AV team, from our audience at home, from our dear brothers, salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali
Muhammad. Fantastic. Okay, so Sayyid Muhsin, when you went, and I think I'd just like to talk about how the money is specifically used, because being someone in the UK, whenever and mashallah, there are a lot of charities out there.
Indeed.
There are a lot of charities. Let's be honest, if you wanted to give to an orphan right now, just Shia-based charities, you probably have a selection of 4 or 5. Why should the brothers and sisters at home be thinking, because I'm sure that IHC also does Zakat al-Fitr as well?
It does indeed. I believe it does, yes.
So that's something that I'm sure that you'll be talking about in the next couple of days. But that's something that you'll need to pay in the next 24, 48 hours. Yeah?
Yeah.
So why should the brothers and sisters at home use IHC as opposed to somebody else?
Excellent question. I mean,
thank you.
You know, and the one thing I can say, which I don't think many charities can say this, but we can say with a proud voice and a big chest, is that 100% of your donations goes to the campaign.
Oh wow, okay.
Imam Hussein TV has a separate budget to pay for the admin fees and all the legal costs and everything
amazing.
To running a charity.
That is amazing.
So those people who are in the charity, your donation doesn't go towards wages. Your donation 100% goes to the campaign. If you're giving money towards orphans, 100% of your money goes to the orphans. If it's for the widows, 100% goes to the widows. If it's for the water wells, 100% of your money will go towards the water well.
Beautiful. I'd like to just roll this video that's being played now as well to just show exactly what your donation can go to. And brothers and sisters, I think the key point here, and that is a USP in my books, which is every single pence or cent of what you donate today goes directly to those who need it. Yeah. So, as an example, over the last month, I think it's 100,000 food baskets the last year.
Yeah, this was last year we did 100,000 food parcels.
Amazing.
And obviously we get these delivered by the 25th of Ramadan.
What would a box like that include, Sayyid?
Right, so we've got rice, flour, eggs, lentils, vegetables, fruits, meats, milk. There's dried lemons, tea, dates.
It's
pasta.
It's crazy because we take all of these things for such granted.
Indeed.
Like if you now walk into a Asda, Sainsbury's, a Tesco, to an Arabic shop, to a Alwan, to wherever it may be, you're spending 30, 40, 50 quid minimum. There's no way you're walking out.
Sometimes more, 60.
When 100. You go to Costco, you hit 3 figures straight away because you buy things that you don't need. Everyone, the money you're spending will come and go so quickly. But for those who need it, and especially this 100,000 campaign, I mean, what you're talking about there, these basic necessities are fundamentals that
Indeed,
they don't have.
We had Abu Talib, and as you know, Abu Talib works in the supermarket. So we got him to actually price it up.
We told him, what are you getting in one box? Price that, what would that cost in the UK? He said 60 to 70 pounds.
Wow.
And we're giving it for 30, half price. Because of we've got a good relationship with the wholesalers. We tell them this is our project, non-profit, this is what we're trying to do. They try and lower their prices as much as they
Amazing.
can.
And a food basket costs how much?
£30.
Okay, so we're going to roll a video now. By the time this video is done, I want some of the brothers and sisters at home to make a decision, to make a pledge, make it in the name of your marhumin, make it in the name of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, make it in the name of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, who he said was an orphan, make it in the name of the father of the orphans, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. After this video, I want to see and I want to be told that a few baskets have been purchased. It's only £30, okay? Inshallah, we'll roll the video and we'll get some good news very shortly.
Imam Hussein Charity is giving you the chance to provide food baskets for destitute and impoverished families all over Iraq and Afghanistan. Each basket costs around £30, $35 roughly, and can feed a family of 4. The food basket contains essentials such as flour, bread, tomato puree, oil. They get different spices as well, salt, pepper, even like cinnamon. You get lentils, you get different vegetables, meats, dates, tea, dried lemons, and not forgetting rice. Take advantage of this blessed month and help destitute and impoverished families. You can pay via bank transfer, PayPal, or visit us at www.imamhusseincharity.com.
Give the gift of a healthy meal to a family in need by donating to our Food Basket campaign.
Welcome back, my dear brothers and sisters, my respected elders, my dearest youngers. In the intermission, one of the Sada, Hafadahullah, who works in the channel, he brought to my attention a beautiful hadith from the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, that says, whomso is in the Shahr of Ramadan, the month of Ramadan, and doesn't attain the forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that month finishes, he becomes further away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We know that this is the month of mercy. We know that we are guests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month. I think sometimes when you're caught in a month like Shahr Ramadan and your life is very busy, yeah? So you're going to work, you're coming back from work, you're breaking your fast, you're trying to just make kind of time, the ends of time meet, and it's very difficult sometimes to wake up early, wake up for Salat al-Fajr in the morning. Energy levels are low. I'm sure, and I'll speak for myself first, that sometimes you look back thinking, have I got the most out of this month? Yeah? Because from a personal perspective, it depends on what you're doing. But there is a sure way, guaranteed way to be able to ensure that you are getting something out of this month. And it's a very simple way to do it, which is in this month, you give to an orphan. And that is a recommendation from the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Yeah, and I think we were talking about this earlier, brothers, that there's only a couple of days left of Shahr Ramadan, right?
Yeah.
So arguably tomorrow may be the last fast.
The thing is, we live in a way where we feel like we're going to be living forever. This might very well be our last Ramadan,
Such a beautiful point.
This is
such an underrated point.
This might be our last Ramadan, so give generously,
Absolutely. And listen, for the orphans that we can support, this this could be the last Eid that we live through, as you said. Last Ramadan, it could be our last Eid as well. So we want you, brothers and sisters, to put a smile on an orphan's face this Eid. What a beautiful thing to have a claim of saying that you're doing on the Day of Judgment, where only your deeds are the ones that show, where you stand in front of the Holy Prophet and say, Holy Prophet, peace upon him, you were an orphan, look what I done for this orphan. I put a smile on the face of this orphan. For how much? Make a Da'at Come True campaign?
£25, come on.
I want you to focus on that campaign for us. If we can get the camera to focus on Sayyid Muhsin and just tell us, don't smile so much, but just tell us about, I'm joking. Just tell us about the campaign. I want to know more about this Eid campaign.
£25 will give one orphan an Eid to remember. We're going to buy them new clothes. They're going to wear their new clothes on Eid. We're going to take them to a theme park. We're going to take them to a restaurant after the theme park. It's not just one orphan, by the way. We've got a whole bus, a coach. Wow. So they're all going to go together. You know, we're going to, as many orphans as we can take. We'll take them to a theme park. They'll have a good day out. They'll go for a meal, not just a little, kids meal with a toy. No, a proper feast. We're going to feed them as much as we can, as much as they can eat. And at the end of the day, we're going to give them a small gift to remember the day by. you know, Eid for all of us is a time we get together with our families. You know, there's a lot of smiles, there's a lot of cooking. You know, there's a lot of you know, high spirits. For orphans, what family do they have?
Yeah, absolutely. This is life-changing. You know, we talked earlier about it's more than just doing the bare minimum for these orphans. This is a way of giving them a dignified Eid.
Yeah.
Very, very nice point.
And we want to do more than just the bare minimum, because these kids will never forget this. It's important for them to realize they have a family, they have a community behind them. When we talk about the ummah, what is the ummah? This is literally it. We want these orphans to know you're not alone.
Small video coming up, brothers and sisters, and then inshallah we'll wrap up. But £25 to be part of a new initiative. I mean, by the way, my hat's off to everyone at IHC, because it's such a phenomenal idea, which is not just, oh, as you said, it's the dignity that gives, that orphan is going to feel like my daughter or my son or your daughter or your son at home, brothers and sisters, because they're going to have the same type of scenario. They're going to be treated to something nice that they deserve. You know, every child on the day of Eid deserves to have a smile on their face. Let's roll that quick video, and inshallah we'll be back to wrap up very, very shortly.
رجع شوي لي ورا. رجع لي ورا. لي ورا لي ورا. رجع لي هناك رجع. اوقف يمين.
ايه. لولو بابا. ماما.
انت شنو اسمك؟
ننس. انا حبيت. أنا حبيت لعبة.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're here, Imam Hussein Charity with Make the Du'as Come True. And I've got this special present for young Lulu who's running right now. And inshallah, thanks to your help and to your donations, Lulu has got her dua and her gift that she wanted.
Every child deserves to feel loved and appreciated. Join us in making Eid special for orphans by donating to our campaign.
Yeah, Ali, welcome back, my dear brothers and sisters. I mean, just that short video, when you saw that, the smile on that young girl's face when she's given that doll, again, for me, that is what IHC is all about. Yeah, we can talk about, you know, the necessity, we can talk about education, we can talk about wanting to help people and protect them and create an infrastructure, but something for £25 to be able to say on the Day of Judgment to the father of orphans, I mean, this is what I done. I put a smile on the orphan's face, genuinely is priceless. So, inshallah, we're gonna go to our guest, first of all, our dear brother Hassanan, in maybe 30, 40 seconds, just a little wrap up about why people should donate, why people should really believe in this cause. If you go straight into that camera, over to you.
I have in my life spent money that I've regretted and wasted on clothes and all sorts of nonsense. Not once have I donated money and regretted it. It is the right thing to do. You know you're making the world a better place. You know you are showing a level of iman that inshallah will reward you in the Day of Judgment. Give that money generously. Inshallah, Allah, the most generous, will find a way to reward you for it in this life and in the next.
Beautiful, beautiful. Our dear Sayyid Mohsen, you've probably done this a few times.
Yeah.
From anything new that came up today, what kind of 30 seconds recap for us into that camera, Sayyid?
You mentioned Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What I'll say is that when it comes to charity, when it comes to helping, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you back tenfold. Don't be scared that, oh, this is all I have, or I mean, you know, it's an investment. You will see the return, inshallah. Furthermore, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, those who look after the orphans on the Day of Qiyamah will be with me like this.
Allah.
That he sees them as one of his own.
That's enough.
You know, what more do you want?
Genuinely, that's
enough. You will
enough.
be with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inshallah.
Inshallah. God
Please
bless
donate.
you.
The phone lines are open. Visit the website www.imamhusseincharity.com.
God bless you. Our dear brothers and sisters, first of all, I want to thank you because I've been told, and literally my earpiece is going crazy, that so many donations are coming in. Yeah, number one.
Inshallah.
Number two, the donations don't stop when this live stops. IHC needs your support 365 days a year. So if you're thinking and contemplating about this now, don't let this be the moment that you think, shall I, shan't I? This is going to be available to you, and IHC are able to support the orphans through your name. For me, I'd like to end on one point because you both summarized beautifully. But if you're at home, everybody in our faith, what I've realized through time and experience and friends, has a close affinity to one of the characters of Ahlul Bayt. In the name of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, in the name of Amir al-Mu'mineen, in the name of Sayyid al-Zahra, of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, do not hide away from providing to the orphans. God bless you. It's been an absolute honor. Many thanks to our guests as well. Many thanks to our guests, inshallah. And we ask for your support. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
These orphans need your help and require your assistance. Don't let any of these orphans go hungry this Ramadan. Please donate.
Don't let this be the end. Keep the hope alive.
السلام عليكم، اسمي رفع العايد، عمري 6 سنين. أنا مشتاقة لبابا. بابا مات كان عمري من نص صغيرة. أنا أريد بالعيد لعابي. اسمي عايدة ولا 4. أتمنى بابا ما يموت. أحب للعيد أدي لعابي.
Sisters Rafal and Russell wanted those for their dua to come true. Thanks to your donations, we made that happen.
Let's spread joy this Eid by giving gifts to orphans. Your donation can make a child's dream come true.
أنا اسمي مصطفى محمد حسن، عمري 7 سنوات. أنا للعيد الطيارة وألعب بيها وأتونس.
Young Mujtaba, his dua was for a drone. So this Eid, thanks to your donations, we're getting him and giving him a drone.
مشكور إمام حسين شريتي.
Help make a child's dua come true this Eid. Donate now to give a gift to an orphan in need.
ثلاث عباس عمري 7 سنين. بابا ميت، مشتاق لبابا. أريد بابا بالعيد يشتري لي سيارة.
Sanad wanted an SUV, and thanks to your donations, we made his dua come true with Imam Hussein Charity. Look how happy he is. A smile like that costs nothing, and for these guys, it's priceless.
Let's make sure no orphan feels left out this Eid. Donate to our campaign and help us bring a smile to their faces.
السلام عليكم، دعاء عايش شراد، عمري 10 سنين. أي لعبة؟ أنا أتمنى بالعيد جديد لعبة سكوتر.
Her name is Dua, and you guys made her dua come true.